Hi there, everyone. Welcome to the Book Room Comedy Club here in the Book Nook. And today we've got something very different, very special for you. We have the Cupboard of Comedy, the Monkey of Mayhem. Of course, it is everybody's favourite cupboard monkey here on her own doing a major comedy experience. Of course, this is her first time in front of the camera doing a comedy routine. So be gentle and give it up for Zoe Kirk-Robinson. Come on, welcome to the stage.
Yes, guys, we are so poor at this that we have to bring our own music. But hello, hi, and welcome to the first episode of the Book Room Comedy Club. This is a live streamed, live stand-up comedy routine to laugh your way through lockdown, as we say. Now, there may be technical issues. There could be some teething trouble because this is our first episode. But I've tried to knock as many teeth out as possible, and Jen has told me to stop with that because it might sound a bit dangerous. I also wanted to bring a warehouse full of laughing gas and just send it straight through the pipes to you, but she told me that that would look naughty. So now I've got a warehouse full of laughing gas and I don't know what to do with it. But I'll tell you one thing, I know who won't have a warehouse full of stuff, and that's Amazon over down in Wales, because what is going on with Welsh lockdown, guys? The Welsh government has decided that the best thing to do coming up to winter is to say, oh, you can't buy any clothes or blankets. What? No clothes, no blankets, no cookware, but you can buy alcohol. Or you can't buy DIY equipment either, because it wouldn't be essential. So, clothes aren't essential in Wales now, but alcohol is. So, basically, coming up to winter, the Welsh government decided clothes optional. I don't know where to start with this, because what would you think when you saw Wales? Would you think that's a tropical place where you don't need to put a jacket on? Because I'll tell you what, I've been there, and jacket's not optional, not in winter anyway. It's ridiculous. We're about this far from right now from having kids have to go to school. Instead of a uniform, they've got on used cardboard that they've cut out from the cartons that cheap ass supermarket box wine comes in. That's how close we are to that in Wales. And I can't work this out. If you think, well, I don't need clothes, but I'll have some alcohol, are you really the type of person who needs to be in government? It doesn't work for me. This is just a bit of a strange situation. So I tried to imagine what it would be like to be in the boardroom when they decided this. So the Welsh government goes, right, what would be essential during a lockdown? Well, we're going to have some food, so we'll let the supermarkets open. But just to make sure it's fair, we've got to keep things fair. We won't allow them to sell books. What are you supposed to do during lockdown? You're going to get bored. Also, we're going to make sure we've got alcohol. We're going to make sure we've got alcohol because they're my best friend, They've got to have been drunk. Surely. It's the only thing I can think. They've got to have been drunk to do this. And the reason that I think they are is there is no logic. We're going to have cookware. You're going to be able to look at it, but don't touch. And the reason that they've decided that is because it's deemed a non-essential item. Cookware is non-essential. According to Jenny, the stream has stopped. So, I'm going to quickly check that. Excellent connection. Get off the script. Reset it. Apparently the stream stopped. I do apologize, guys. If you're back now, that's great. Has it come back, Jen? Jen is quickly checking. So while we're on, I just want to say, so who in their right mind looks at a country that's coming into winter and thinks, nah, you don't need clothes. You don't need to be able to buy new clothes. You'll make do. Well, I think actually what we could make do without is the Welsh Assembly, because they say you can't buy a kettle there are other ways to cook water. Well, there are other ways to govern a country as well, and most of them don't include telling people they can't buy their new togs for going out for a Christmas party, which you can't do because it's a mess, isn't it? So I'm just thinking the best thing is probably just to get drunk, and that's why they've given you the ability to buy vodka. So we are a couple of weeks away, I'll guarantee this. We are a couple of weeks away from finding out how drunk you have to be to think clothes are not optional. And it makes me wonder what in the meantime is going to happen, because are we going to see people now deciding, well, if I can't buy new clothes, I'm just going to have to wrap a rug around me with a belt, but you can't buy a belt. Can't go in the supermarket and buy a belt. That's naughty. That's naughty. But I will give them one thing, because you know when they were talking in their meeting about what to ban and they decided DIY equipment, you know at least one person in that room was thinking, you know what? My wife's been telling me to put those shelves up for ages. Now I've got an excuse to not do it. So just be careful when you're getting all this vodka instead of being able to put any clothes on. You decide to try and wrap a load of bottles around you. If you drink the contents to make them lighter, don't fall over and break anything in your house because you can't fix it. It's illegal now to do DIY. It's just ridiculous. You would have thought a country that is 50% rain would not have decided clothes were an optional extra. It's just moronic. But, Jen, have we got any comments so far?
Yes, there are loads of comments flooding in.
How many people have we got?
We've had up to 18, I see.
18 people. I've not disappointed 18 people since I was at university. I went to the wrong party.
But people are saying the stream's coming through just fine.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think people are enjoying it. We're getting a few LOLs. North End side is Mother which is 50%.
It is 50% rain. And I'll tell you, I'm from the northeast. I know all about rain. So next time you're down in Wales and you find you can't get any clothes, just and you have to go on a meeting for your lockdown, for your Zoom meeting with your work colleagues. Just remember, no clothes, but you can position the family dog to cover your shame. You'll be fine. And anyone who turns up nude now to say, well, I'm in Wales. It's not that I forgot that we had the meeting and I was actually eating crisps in the bath. I'm just in Wales. But talking about silly, silly things, my goodness, I was down in London before lockdown because I couldn't be there now. And I heard one of those things, you know, when you have those situations, you hear a guy, you just overhear them in the street, and they say the weirdest thing, and you know, right then and there, that is going to haunt you for the rest of your life. I had that experience. This guy said something that any normal person having that thought would have immediately had all of their other thoughts in their head. Jump on it and just hold it down. Like, no, don't let it out. Don't let it get to the controls. Don't let it get to the mouth and escape into the wild. Then the kind of thought that you think of it and then think, am I that silly to have thought that? This guy didn't bother with any of that. Didn't bother with any of the safeguards. He went straight for the mouth. And he said something that I will never forget. He said, with a straight face, to his friend, London is the only real city. And I thought, what? The only real city. The only one. There are no others. There have never been any other cities. This is the only real one. This guy's never heard of Rome. Pretty sure that was real. Didn't they conquer a lot of the world, including London? When he sees Birmingham, Manchester, Edinburgh, even down in Wales, they might not have any clothes, but they certainly got Cardiff. Are they not real cities? Does he think that we just put them up as like sets, like if it's a film? I think he does. I think he honestly believes that the whole of the country lives in mud huts, or perhaps some kind of, now stick with me, some kind of underground cavern labyrinth where we all just live underground. Keeps us away from the bad weather, you know. And then we have one guy, and his job is to sit at the entrance to the caves with his binoculars. Oh, Jeff, there's a tourist coming. You better get the winch. And he's there, winding his winch to bring up the cardboard sets that they've intricately painted to make it look like there's a city here. I just don't see it. when Andy Burnham was doing his speech earlier this week, when he staged that speech, did this guy sit there watching the TV and going, you know, it's a good thing the wind hasn't changed direction because that set would fall down, but it is well painted. It looks like a real building. But it can't be a real building because London's the only real city. Does he think they made a soy? I just don't get it. It's like, how can you think that sort of thing and still wander around and have managed to put your shoes on the right feet when you come out the house? The only real city. Yeah. What happens if we don't get advance warning of tourists in our not real cities? Do you think that's why the railway network doesn't work? Because we have to keep delaying all the trains to make sure we can get the winches up to put Birmingham on the map and Manchester and Salford and everywhere else on the way through with the train. This guy probably does. How do you get through life being that silly? And then I remembered how, because people don't engage their brains before they speak, otherwise we wouldn't have President Trump. And for all of you Trump supporters, don't worry, I'm not going to rip on him too much, but he is a bit daft at times. He does tend to speak before he engages his brain, which is why when I saw the moon was trending on Twitter, the first thing I thought was, Trump said something, hasn't he? You can just see it now. He's there in the White House having a look out the window. It's like, I'm president, you know. I rule it. Where's the moon? Where's the moon gone? NASA, Iran's nicked the moon. Come on. They've nicked it. Come and get it back. Hello, Mr. President. No, if you just turn this way, please. There it is. But it was over there earlier on. Yes, Mr. President. Yes, it was over there earlier on. But the thing about the moon is, it goes through the sky. Are you telling me they can move the moon? Yes, Mr. President, of course they can. They can move them, but don't worry. Don't worry. In 24 hours, we'll have put it back. It'll be back. You know where you saw it earlier on? If you come back to the window at that time tomorrow, we'll have put it back for you. Say, well, thank you very much. You know, I'm president. I'm very smart. Say, yes, Mr. President. Come on. We're just going to take you back to bed. I'm president, you know. I'm very, very smart. That is what I thought. Now, the reason I thought that is partly because it was funny to me, but mainly because the alternatives in 2020 are not exactly good, are they? If you think about this, when you see a celebrity mentioned in 2020 on Twitter, there are three things that can have happened. First of all, they may have died, because we've had that for years. It's basically just the great culling. All the cool people have left, and now we know why, because they were getting out before COVID arrived, which is the second thing that comes to mind when you hear someone mentioned on Twitter. So when you see the moon trending on Twitter, it's either it's disappeared, it's got COVID, or the third option, it's been accused of sexual misconduct. Now, you might think that it's hard for the moon to be accused of that, but this is 2020, so anything goes. And I thought, well, how could the moon have possibly done something wrong? And I thought, well, the man in the moon, he has been waxing and waning in public for centuries. Now, hear me out. I know we've all seen it, waxing on and waxing off up there for many, many years. And none of us have dared say anything because the moon is powerful. It controls the tides. But our brave scientists at NASA, they have said, no, we will not allow this anymore. We're going to call you out, Mr. Man in the Moon, with your misconduct and your controlling of the tide. You think you're so great, but we have tide machines now. We don't need you anymore. We're going to stand up to you. None of that happened, of course. They're going to make some weird announcement, aren't they? Something like Trump's decided that in order to deal with the alien threat, we're going to build a wall. We're going to build a wall on the moon and Mars is going to pay for it. It's going to be something like that. I know. A lot of you who are Trump fans probably aren't watching anyways. Let's put it that way. Because politics is weird at the moment. And it really is. And speaking as someone who was an elected politician, I'm happy to say it's always been a bit weird. But the core thing about politics is you can't get away from the fact that it is a popularity contest. And as someone who won one and then lost, I'll tell you now, they're very addictive. I can understand why people go for another term. But when you get to that election night, it is the strangest experience you will ever have in your life. Because here's how it works. You spend months being told by every single person that you ever meet that everything the government does is bad and it's your fault. I don't care who you are, where you're from, doesn't matter which party you're with. If something's bad in politics, it's your fault. Either you're responsible for it or you didn't stop it. A duck farts 1,000 miles away and this person doesn't like the smell, your fault. Doesn't matter who you are. If the government decides that it's okay or it's not okay, it doesn't really matter which, to drill for oil in the middle of a national park, why didn't you stop it? But that national park's not in my area. I have no control of that. Why didn't you stop it? That's no excuse. Go on, stop it. Go on. You should be there. You should be doing it. You should have your big stamp and you should be going denied. I didn't know about it. It's 1,000 miles away. It's not my fault. Well, you should have been more prepared then, shouldn't you? You should have known your brief. Everything is your fault. It doesn't matter what it is. It's your fault until election night. Because they bring in the ballot box. And in that box is a superposition. You are both at fault for everything. And not to blame because you couldn't possibly have done anything about it. I'm really sorry for blaming you. You couldn't possibly have done anything. We know it's their fault. Both of those things are true at once in that box. And the only way to find out whether you're to blame and still have a job, or you couldn't have done anything about it because you're not involved anymore, is to open the box. So, between the polls closing at 10 o'clock and about midnight when they've totted up all the votes, you are Schrodinger's culprit, both at fault and not at fault at the same time. The only way to find out is to open the box. But unfortunately, claiming that the outcome was changed by observing it when they open it and read all the ballots, that's not grounds for a recount. I tried. Well, have we got any comments, Jen? Because we are now...
Yes, we have. North End Sidings Model Railway, the best gag so far, Zoe. North End Sidings Model Railway also really likes sexual misconduct show. We've got North End Sidings Model Railway, so fun fact, he's a North Haven religion called the Moon Manny. Flymo Chairman 1 is posting a lot of emoticons, so I think he's happy. North End Sidings Model Railway also says Schrodinger's ballet box. I think that's a misprint.
Ballet box.
Yeah, ballet box. I mean, if you open it up to the ballerina,
a ballet box. You should be jumping onto the screen so that people can hear you now.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Jen is not technologically abled. I've got her producing, but she doesn't really know what she's doing.
So here I am.
Yes.
And is it going to pick up my voice?
Yes, because now your microphone is on.
So I'm sat over in the opposite corner to the book nook, and I'm reading your comments off my iPad. This is a complete role reversal from when we do the Monday club. But I've seen 19 people in.
I'm disappointing more and more people as I go on. It's brilliant.
Yeah, quite normal life. So yeah, we're getting great here. North End Sidings Model Rail, yes, Sydney and ballot box. Not Lobia Model World. Big hi to Les there.
Hi, Les.
Sound is very indistinct from Jenny. Hopefully we fix that.
Yes, you were not. Yeah.
But yeah, it's going really well. So I'm going to turn back over for part 2 of Zoe Kirk-Robinson, the Cupboard Monkey of Comedy Mayhem, live from the Book Room Comedy Club.
Cupboard Monkey. Yeah, I have no idea how that started as a nickname. I think it's something to do with on Jen's Monday Club. I would occasionally pop in to hand her drinks and food, and occasionally prod her in the ear to try and knock her off her game. But she started calling me a cupboard monkey, and that's got me thinking. You know, great apes. All of the great apes, the gorillas, the orangutans. Monkeys aren't included in that. Do you think monkeys just sit there thinking, why are they so great? What made them so? I don't know why they've got a Geordie accent, but they are. Why are they so great? What made them so great? Why did you, human, why did you get to decide who is and who isn't great? Have a banana, monkey. Calm down. Ooh, banana. Ooh. You know you're alright, really. Just keep the bananas coming, alright? I don't know why he's a Geordie. Perhaps it's evolution. What? What am I talking about? That wasn't part of the act. It just came to me. It's a strange, strange world we live in, isn't it? And to get back to what we were saying, apparently we have a ballet box now. Now, I don't know about you, but if elections could be decided on who could do the best pirouette, election night will get a lot more viewers. We get as many as The Voice. And if you could vote by phone, well, we'd have a lot more election fraud, I suppose, but we'd have a lot more votes. So, I've forgotten what I was going to say now. The idea of politicians doing pirouettes is stuck in my head. I blame you, Jen, for reading that out. Oh my goodness. Politics, man, it's just weird. Remember when we had that furore about the sugar tax? So, here's the thing. The government says people are getting a little bit fat. And from my point of view, say, yeah, we are. People are getting a little bit fat, so hear me out on this. We're going to tax sugary drinks. What? Sugary drinks. Because they're a sin. No, they're not. Now, when I look at a can of Coke, I don't see a sin. When I look at a guy who has decided to have a threesome with several lasses, none of whom he's married to, while riding a horse down the middle of the street, that I would say was a bit of a sin. It would also be an incredible balancing act. But a can of Coke, come on. And here's the thing. Oh, you didn't think that went far enough, did you? We're going to tax biscuits too. They're coming for your sugary drinks and they're literally taking the biscuit. You know what's going to happen now? We're going to end up on a slippery slope, I'll tell you that. We're going to have people coming home on a night thinking, it's been a hard day, you know. It's been such a hard day. No one looking? Good. I'm just going to go down this dark alley here. Up to this door. Nope, no one's looking. Hello? Is Mr. Kipling in? We're going to have bake-easies. You mark my words. They're coming for our biscuits. So we're going to have people going down dark alleys just to get, you know, a slice of cake and maybe a Pepsi to, you know, pep them up because it's been a long day. And with that cake, they're going to have to order extra at considerable cost from a sugar baron a jug of bathtub custard. We're going to have home baking because of this tax. You mark my words. You might not see it coming, probably because it won't happen, but you know, we can think. What am I talking about? You know, sometimes you start with these jokes and you think that's going in an interesting direction, so you follow it. And then when you get there, you think, where on earth am I? So comedy is a bit of a weird one. I'm always told that the first time you go out doing stand-up comedy, and this is my first time live since I tried it in virtual reality, which was a lot easier because people couldn't see me. I'm always told, your first time you come out, you're going to suck. And your second time you come out, you're going to suck. And you're going to keep sucking until you stop sucking. Which might seem just logical. I mean, you're going to be bad at something until you're good. Yeah, but most people don't see you and laugh at you while you're doing it. But in comedy, if they're laughing at you, that's a good thing. So your problem is they're not laughing. And it's a weird thing because at the moment I don't have any feedback, so I don't know how well you're enjoying this, and it's a bit of an oddity. Jen is trying to mime, which I don't know what that means. It's either she's got an itchy back and she's trying to scratch it on the chair, or she's laughing. I don't know. But they say it takes about 10,000 hours to get really good at something. 10,000 hours. That's why teenage boys spend 10,000 hours in their bedrooms, by the way. I'm not going to tell you what they're getting good at. It's probably mechanics, you know. You know what they're like. It's not. But you say you have to take 10,000 hours of practice to get good at something. What they don't tell you is you can spend those 10,000 hours practicing really, really hard at the wrong thing. Take me, for example. I've spent many, many thousands of hours laid in bed trying to get to sleep. And I've become very, very good at it. I can try to get to sleep like an absolute champion. I could get the gold medal at the Olympics of trying to get to sleep. Can't fall asleep. It's one of those things. Which is why, if you ever see me, in my old school photos, I have massive bags under my eyes. So big, in fact, that I had to check my luggage to get on the school bus. Not kidding. Yes, I am. Jen, how are we doing? Well, I have a quick drink.
Really well.
Do you want to jump on again because people can't hear you?
Oh, yeah, hold on. So,
That's what I mean, teething troubles.
yeah, it's okay. It's the first night here in the Book Room Comedy Club in Book Nook. But we've got loads of people really like bathtub custard joke. Yeah, taking the biscuit, Mr. Kipling in, and also there's a lot of interest in your Geordie nuts. So why young man was sweet? Was it like whoa? So yeah, we're going well. The audience is starting to drop down a little bit, but you've got a piece 19. Pretty good. Bear in mind, everybody, this is the Coloured Monkey's first outing on stand-up live in front of the camera. So it will code. It's like sometimes you see down at the comedy store in Manchester, people like just honing her set. So we're doing really well. But we're going to turn you back over to the Cupboard Monkey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as well. And yeah, let's get straight back in it. So I'm going to turn you straight back over to the Cupboard Monkey, Zoe Kirk-Robinson. Oh yeah, give it up for the Zoe Stir.
The Zoe Stir. Oh my goodness, you made me sound like a barista who can't spell. I've never been a barista. I have, however, been. I used to work behind the counter at Burger King. Now, here's a weird thing. I used to work at Burger King just in the run up to Christmas, and while I was at university, just to basically get a little bit of drinking money. Let's not beat about the bush. I would get paid on a Friday night, and then I would have spent all my money on drink by the Saturday morning. That's how it works when you're a student. And I'll tell you one thing. My goodness, the people you got. Now, I have never, ever sold anyone a burger that had a side order of sneezes. But if anyone has, I do understand. Because it's the strangest experience. People will come in and be absolutely mean to people, to people who are about to serve them food. That's taking your life in your hands there. It's like, my goodness, you like to live life on the edge, don't you? It's like, right, you little bastard, I'd like 5 hamburgers. And don't even mention that I'm fat, because I want 5 hamburgers. They would be the meanest people ever. Like, would you like fries with that? Are you eating it or taking it out? No, I want a seat. What do you think? I'm some kind of hobo that's going to sit outside? I'm only asking. It's my job to ask. People are mean to people who are going to give them food, and then they expect it to be clean. Now, we've all seen Fight Club, and if you haven't, go and watch it. Not right now. Wait until after the show and then go and watch it. But why would you ever do that? Well, I'll guarantee you, if you ever ordered from me, I didn't spit in your food. But if anyone did, I understand. Right, guys, we are at what? Almost past? Yes, Jen. Jen's so good. Yeah. She's so on the ball.
2 minutes to past.
So, this has been my first night of stand-up live on this show. We're going to try and get, once the lockdown is over, try and get guests in, and we're going to do a longer set. But I think half an hour for the first night is not too bad. So, Jen, would you like to come in and join me?
Yeah, so come on, everybody. Give it up for the Cupboard Monkey, Zoe Kirk-Robinson here in the Book Nook, in the Book Room Comedy Club.
She's taking my microphone.
So
look at this. The consummate professional comes in straight away and grabs the mic. I just want to say thank you so much for coming out. I've been Zoe Kirk-Robinson. This has been Jennifer Kirk.
Definitely.
We're at the Book Room Comedy Club. We'll be here every week.
Yeah, we're here all week.
No, we'll be here every week, 7 o'clock, doing live stand-up, just to give you something to keep you going during this mess of a pandemic. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do consider looking at our Patreon because it really does help. Links in the description bar, and it might not be much to you, $1 a month or something, but it certainly helps keep the lights on.
Definitely. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, this live stream is going to go up as a proper video. So if you missed this, then hello
you get
to you
24
on the
hours, maybe 48, because what I'm planning to do to try and keep it fresh and keep it short and sweet,
keeping it
we're
real.
going to take the highlights from this and put it out during the week. And then the next show will go live after that. That's the idea.
But look, thank you ever so much, everybody, for joining us live here from the Book Nook in the Book Room Comedy Club. And it's been great. Look, thank you very much, Zoe Kirk-Robinson. Give her a big hand because I know it's not easy to stand up in front of a live audience.
And a live camera.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, it's one of the things that I said before, that you've actually had more people watch this than watch most of the Edinburgh Fringe shows. It's not unheard of for the Edinburgh Fringe shows to actually show to like a single person. So,
well, that's technically what's happened. The Jen here has been the only person in the room. It's weird. It's a weird experience. I really want to make sure that you have entertainment because I can't get out the comedy clubs. You can't get out to them, but definitely. I want you to still be able to laugh.
Definitely, and it's a really great thing. Thank you ever so much, you guys, for joining us. You've been an amazing audience. Don't forget to join us next time, and
see you then.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Good night.
Oh, and incidentally, these are real books.
It's not a set. It's a real.
People think it's green screen, but it's not. It's real books.
Okay, Jen has definitely had a lot to drink, so
Jenny,
if you could press stop, that would be great. Thank you so much again, guys.